Ja, damit wir nicht noch mehr in Verzug kommen, starten wir jetzt gleich auch mit der nächsten Präsentation, und zwar vom Trevor. Trevor, okay. Come on stage, please. So Trevor does not only do presentation here. I would like to thank you as the main sponsor of the event. I think without your help, it wouldn't be possible to do this like we do it. So it's very much appreciated. But not only the support regarding this event, also everything you're doing for the Amiga at the moment. And yeah, let me say thanks again for supporting us and supporting this event and making this possible.
First of all, I apologize that I don't speak German, but I'd like to take a picture of you all, and I want you to all say, Amiga forever, okay? So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, Amiga forever. Let's practice. 1, 2, 3, Amiga forever. Oh, that's terrible. Come on. I know it's late in the day, I'm tired, my voice is going. So ready? And I want the fist in the air, right? A real punch. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Amiga forever. Now that's good, right? So we're going to try it one more time, and Marcus is going to do the 1, 2, 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Amiga forever. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Amiga forever. Okay.
Entschuldigung, aber ich glaube, Sie haben die falschen Nummern mitgenommen.
Wieso?
Sie haben die Blöcke mitgenommen.
Ja.
Lesen Sie jetzt einfach die Blöcke vor. Das sind die falschen Nummern. Wir haben es ja extra auf dem Blatt geschrieben.
Nee, das waren ja nur die Hauptpreise, die 3. Die anderen kommen ja jetzt runter und fragen, ob die was gewonnen haben.
Well, while we're sorting out the technical hitch, I got to say this is the biggest Amiga show I've been to in the last 10 years. So I think it's even bigger than Amiga30 in Neuss, so that's great. Congratulations to us all. So it's brilliant. So thank you. Okay, and so it's just that.
It's not.
Is that you? I like the t-shirts. We need some technical help here, I think.
Das ist die PDF-Datei.
Ja.
Yay. Okay, excellent. Okay. Okay, well, it's really good to be back in Neuss. I think 2 years ago was the first time I've been to Neuss and for Amiga 30. And it's even good to see more people for Amiga 32. Of course, why are we here? We're here because the Amiga computer was launched 32 years ago. And I think I was pretty pleased and humbled to see 3 of the Amiga developers, 2 of the original Amiga developers, and obviously one of the original Commodore engineers in the room presenting. And I think it's really good that they're supporting us 32 years later, so that's really good news. Obviously, I have an emphasis on A-EON Technology. I'm the co-founder of A-EON Technology, and we've been doing quite a lot of work in the last 12 to 18 months. We finally launched the AmigaOne X5000 towards the end of 2016, and the sales have really started in 2017. We've had 4 updates to the Enhancer software pack for Amiga OS 4. We've got ongoing developments of the Warp 3D Nova 3D graphics subsystem. We now have support for ultra-high definition 4K monitors, and if you want to see one, just go over there, it's running 4K. And we've updated AmiStore with a new Amisphere server and updater. And you'll see these things come over the next few weeks. The AmigaOne X5000, there's one running over there. There's an X1000 running over there. And there's an A1222 running over there. But more on that later. Enhancer, we put a lot of work and effort into the Enhancer to actually add more capability to Amiga OS 4 for users like me. Hopefully for users like you. We've really been working hard with our beta testers and developers, and in June this year we had an A-EON DevCon in Cardiff in Wales, and we had a great time, and we now have over 45 active developers and beta testers working full-time. Not full-time, full-time, part-time. They've all got full-time jobs, but they work part-time on Amiga. We also have an incredibly active core Linux team, and one of our members, Christian Zagotsky, who's actually on the A-EON stand today, he's like a machine. He just churns out updates every single day. I can't keep up with him. I don't know how he does it, and he still finds time to come and help display his AmigaOne A1222. We now support a whole host of PowerPC Linux distributions, and we're also supporting the mainstream PowerPC Linux effort. We're contributing to the kernel to ensure that all of our hardware is supported by mainstream PowerPC Linux distros. So that's really impressive going forward. But what about the future? We're about to bring out an enhancement to the Enhancer pack. So Enhancer 2 has a number of new features. It's got a new Radeon HD driver. It's actually Radeon HD 3.3, not 3.0. We have a new archiver, unarchiver utility coming along. The Xdock Enhancer has been updated. We've got a new backup and restore utility been included. And we've now got support for Radeon RX drivers, including the latest Polaris graphics cards. So this puts us on par with mainstream computing. We're now getting Amiga back to where it should be, mainstream computing support. But what does that really mean? We have now smashed the 256 megabyte graphics card barrier, graphics barrier for the Amiga. So this is the first time the Amiga has supported more than 256 megabytes of graphics RAM. And not only that, we're using that graphics RAM. So using the graphics RAM with the GPU itself, the graphics processing unit, we're really speeding up Amiga OS and the programs that utilize that. Warp 3D Nova and Mini GL ES2. Daniel Musner, who you'll see over there, he's been working on OpenGL ES2 for us. And Hans de Ruyter, who's a fantastic developer, is working full-time for us on the graphics development. graphics card development. So what are the features of the Rainy HD 3 driver? We now have 64-bit VRAM and optimization in 2D. It's now 10% faster than the previous driver, but also it now supports over 256 megabytes of graphics memory. This is really good news for games players when games start to utilize these facilities. And if you go and watch some of the games that have been demoed over on the A-EON stand, you'll see them utilizing the GPU and the graphics RAM. You won't be able to read that, but what it does show is the graphics GPU RAM is being used. So we're not loading the system anymore. The system RAM is not being touched. We're using the graphics RAM. And of course, it's not just on the AmigaOne X1000 or the X5000, it's also on the new AmigaOne A1222. So I think when it comes out, you'll be pleasantly surprised on the performance of this new board, of this new system. We are going to release free to everyone, free as in free beer, I think, the Enhancer Software Essentials Pack with basic libraries, gadgets, classes, the updater utility, and the Amisphere Prefs and Amisphere Server. So this will be free to all developers, all users. Anyone who wants to use these gadgets, utilities, they'll be freely available. I know someone would appreciate that. The AmigaOne A1222 update. This is the second public demo of the AmigaOne A1222 running Amiga OS 4.1. The first was in AmiWest last week, and this is the second. So we feel confident enough to show the system running, and I think most people who've played with it today, and a lot of people have, they've been very, well, let's say surprised, but how well it performs. We still have, it does, OS 4.1 is very stable. It supports the Radeon HD driver already, and supports Warp 3D Nova and SI. Some driver work still required on Ethernet, sound, and we're doing some special work with Thomas Frieden, the Amiga OS 4 developer, with FPU optimization, and I hope to have that here today, but unfortunately we couldn't make that. Having said that, it's still performing, and you can go and see it yourself. So that'll be put in the future. So there's the AmigaOne X1000. I've posted some videos online on YouTube. You can see it for yourself. It runs, and it's a nice little machine. We finally, eventually launched the Alice laptop, and it was put up for sale at AmiWest last week, and I think 4 or 5 laptops were sold. There's an Alice laptop over there. If you don't know what Alice is means an Amiga laptop incorporating a classic experience. So Alice, and it gives you AmiKit, Amiga OS 4.1 Classic, and Windows. It includes a full license for Amiga OS 4.1 Classic, plus the box set. It includes a license for AmiKit. It includes a license for Amiga Forever, and you can run both the classic OS 4.1 and AmiKit under Windows as well if you want, so you can do the whole thing. The laptop over there is mine, so don't touch it, please, don't break it. My last one was stolen in AmiWest last year, so this is my new one, and I'm really pleased with it so far. We've been working with Hans de Ruyter. He's not only a talented developer, he likes to tinker and play with systems. He's created a do-it-yourself laptop, which we've nicknamed Porsche. Porsche being one of the early Amiga custom chips. And Porsche means portable, table-inspired Amiga One. So I make these things up, so you can blame me. So it's my idea. But what we'll do is Hans will create a kit, a do-it-yourself laptop kit, and if you want to create your own little do-it-yourself laptop with Tabor, then in next year, I reckon you'll be able to do that. I'm going to try it myself. He demonstrated that at AMI West last week. So usually we start now by any questions. I know I haven't got a lot of time, but I really would like to take some questions. And I know everyone's always embarrassed, you know, do I ask a question? Should I ask a question? Please ask a question. Come on, someone can ask. Thank you.
Are there any plans to gigabit Ethernet?
That's a good question. Are there any plans for gigabit Ethernet? Yes, there are. Not with initial releases, but there are because there's some extra work not being done by me, but being done by a developer to look at some of the more exotic Ethernet components of the AmigaOne X5000. Okay. Any other questions? LibreOffice. I didn't mention LibreOffice. I should say that work's continuing. Hans de Ruyter and Hans Frieden and Hans-Jörg Frieden and Thomas Frieden are both here today, and they've been working on that from off and on, and they've decided to go from Firefox 4 to 5 because there were some issues with 4 which affected all systems, affected Android, not just Amiga OS. We do have a beta version of the Firefox 4, and beta testers have that, but we're going to move to 5, and work's being done now to port to 5. I would expect that the beta testers will start with that early next year, and I would hope that we'll finally bring that project to all the users. So that's that. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Firefox is on my brain. I meant LibreOffice. You're right. Thank you very much. So LibreOffice 4 will be LibreOffice 5. Thank you.
Couldn't you offer a pre-built version of the Porsche laptop? I think this would be interesting for the people who have 2 left hands and don't want to put it together themselves.
The question was, could we have a built version of the Porsche laptop? I think what will happen is it'll be a kit version, but I think some of the retailers will want to build it up and add extra features and capabilities, and you know, maybe make a little bit more money. So yes, I think there'll be built versions. So I wouldn't worry about that because I wouldn't want to build one myself. I don't want to blow myself up. So, any more questions?
Is work on the Warp 3D driver for Northern Ireland and graphic cards, is that still in progress?
All the work on, people ask that question all the time, is work for Warp 3D Northern Ireland's graphics cards. The biggest problem with graphics cards and everything in the PC world is they churn very quickly. And very quickly they bring out new standards and new standards and new standards, and you can't get the cards. So one with the Southern Island series, that's the Radeon HD 7000 series, the Radeon RX series, the new RX series, the Radeon 7 series. These are cards that we can support and get. But even the 7 series cards are now getting more difficult to get. So it's a race to keep up with the mainstream PC world, so it's more difficult. The older cards, I don't think we'll support because the new cards are cheap. You can get really low, inexpensive new cards. You can get very expensive new cards as well, but you can get inexpensive ones. And it's much easier to buy an inexpensive new card than to try and be back compatible with some of the Radeon HD 4, 5, and 6 cards. One more question. Okay. Actually, I'm helping to keep the Amiga Next Generation alive. Last Saturday, or Sunday in New Zealand, because I live in New Zealand, my daughter gave birth to my first grandchild. So now I have a grandson. And so I'm much older than I look. All right? So let's all keep the Amiga alive. We can all do it together. And if we keep coming to shows like this, with the attendance like this, I think we're going to be here in the next 10 years. So that's great. So thank you very much.